No matter who you are or where you are on life's journey, no matter if you're young or old, whether you're here for the first time or have been here for many years, you are welcome here. If you come searching for deeper meaning in life, or to mend a broken heart, or to nurture friendships and laughter in your life, or simply to play, you are welcome here. I invite you now to stand in body or spirit and join our voices in hymn 1024, found in the Teal hymnal.
Good morning. As we gather today to recognize the significance of the child's life in both children's and adults' spiritual development, let us consider the words of visionary holistic educator Maria Montessori. The real constructive energy, alive and dynamic, of children remained unknown for thousands of years. Just as men trod upon the earth first and cultivated its surface in later times, without knowing of or caring for the immense riches that lay hidden in the depths, so is man nowadays progressing in civilization without knowing of the riches that lie buried inside the psychic world of the child. And indeed, for thousands of years, from the very beginning of humanity itself, man has continued repressing these energies and grinding them into the dust. It is only today that a few have begun to suspect their existence. Humanity has begun to realize the importance of these riches, which have never been exploited, something more precious than gold, the very soul of man.
Thank you. This is the time in our service moment.
Welcome, family, friends, and members of CSD, of the Unitarian Society of Germantown. The purpose of today's service is to honor the work of the CSD teacher volunteers and the children that they guide, and to celebrate the ways in which our collective efforts to build relationships of care, guidance, and love for the children of USG serve to strengthen our entire community now and in the future. This is a very special service, and it's a unique time in our CSD program. As many of you know, Jason Bender joined us in September to take charge of CSD programming, and with his guidance, the program has blossomed into one that is not only engaging for the kids, but also a source of joy and spiritual growth for the teacher volunteers. As the chair of the CSD committee, I have worked with Jason to design a series of 4 teacher workshops this year in which the teachers explored their questions, interests, the curriculum, and challenges that arise when teaching. And in this service, you'll hear stories from the teachers in the form of skits and songs and chants and reflections about what they accomplished in their classrooms and what they learned through their practice. The hope is that we will have a little bit of fun, learn about the teachers in their classrooms, and reflect upon our own roles in guiding young people and how we ourselves have been guided in the past. So get ready to enjoy a taste of CSD programming and see the magic that happens every time the children walk through that door to the words, "Go now in peace, let the spirit of love surround you everywhere you go." Our first skit will be, it's more of a song actually. Our first song will be presented by Gail Gibbons and Scott Wolkenberg. They'll come on up, and they teach the pre-K class.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? Oh, good. Thank you. Well, Scott and I taught the pre-K kids. The class was called the Chalice Children, and this is their first introduction to what I grew up calling Sunday school. They probably didn't know each other before they got here, but they know each other. Sorry, they know each other now. So pretty much they were between 3 and 5 years old. In addition to lessons and songs and projects and stories, there were a few things that we did every single Sunday. And we would light the chalice. We would light the chalice, remember? Yeah. And we would do a welcome song, welcoming everybody to the group. We would wear our name tags. We made name tags and we wore name tags. And then we had a very special ending, closing ritual that we did at the end of class, which I'm not going to tell you about right now. But right now, we're going to talk about our welcome song. So, Ellis, you want to come on over? And we have Owen and Evie, and Jason, and Kira, and August. We're probably not going to welcome all of you. Any other chalice children in the pews who would like to come up? We would love to have you. Okay, oh good. You want to come or are you going to sit it out? Up to you. Okay. Okay. This was not only just a good welcoming, it got the wiggles out for the rest of the hour. All right. Okay, no, this is, okay. Thank you, come on. All right, so we would get into a circle. So you want to envision this as a circle. Okay. I'm going to start with you, Scott. And this is what we would do every Sunday morning. Okay, we ready? I think you can help us sing along if you want to. Welcome to Scott. He's a Unitarian. Jump into the circle. Jump, jump, jump. Okay, here we go. Welcome to Evie. She's a Unitarian. Jump into the circle. Jump, jump, jump. Welcome to Jason. Welcome to Jason. He's a Unitarian. Jump into the circle. Jump, jump, jump. Okay, we have some more coming, but let's all do it for everybody. Welcome to multitudes of Unitarians. Jump into the circle. Jump, jump, jump.
That was lots of fun. Next up, we have Jeff Jaeger and Nadja Peter. They're going to lead a skit, and they teach the K1 class.
Just go ahead.
What's that?
Should I? Okay. Hello, hello, hello. Is it on? Can you hear me? I'm talking right into the mic. Oh no, we're going to stand. We're going to stand. I know, but they can't see us. All right, I'm going to sit in the chair. All right, well, Nadja, I guess we should get started with this. What were we going to do first again?
Who's number one? Let's start with the hand thing. You know.
Oh, right, right. Right, the hand thing. Right, that seems like a good idea. Okay, let's try it. Okay, kids, welcome to church school. I'm Teacher Jeff, and this is Teacher Nadja. Okay, we're going to start with a little hand game. Okay.
Okay.
All right, great.
Okay.
We are Unitarian Universalists, the Church of the Loving Mind, open heart, helping heart. Together we. Oh,
No.
darn! We really should have looked this up.
I know how it goes. Let me do it.
I think we should sing a different song.
I hate this, and I want a snack.
I like dinosaurs.
Oh, no. We have to do next week. Okay, now we have next week. Next week. Okay, we looked this up. We got it now. We're ready to go. Kids, we're really ready this time. We're going to do that opening prayer, the hand thing. Teacher Nadja and I did our homework, and we're ready to show you the right way to do this. We are
Unitarian Universalists, the Church of the Open Mind, Helping Hands, and Loving Heart. Together, we care for our earth.
And work for friendship and peace in our world.
That's not how it goes. I know how it goes. Let me do it.
I still think we should sing a different song.
I hate this and I want a snack.
I like dinosaurs.
Next week. Boy, we really have to try something different. We're not getting their attention at all. No matter what we do, everyone in this place goes in a different direction. Jason said we really should try to get everybody on the same page, and we're really failing at this.
You know, we memorized it, we tried to teach them. I'm just not sure what way to go. Maybe we should just give up.
All right, let's give this one more try.
Okay.
We
are
Unitarian
Universalists,
the
the Church of the Open Mind, Helping Hands, and Loving Heart.
Now you guys get to write the rest of our chalice lighting.
Together, we work to build beloved community.
Together, we all sing our own songs together.
Together we work to find what we'd like to do.
I like dinosaurs.
Thank you. Thank you, team. Thank you. Thank you very much. I can go right there.
From several of our teachers who have reflected on the question, how have you grown as an adult working with children in our CSD program this year? We'll hear from first two of our OWL teachers, Andrea Barsevic and Meineke, who is a seasoned teacher and the other who taught this year for the first time. Then, after those two, we will hear from Sharon Mafuru, who taught the Pre-K1 Spirit and Social Justice Sunday class.
Good morning. Am I close enough? You know, it's really funny, you can't hear from back here. Good morning, I'm Meineke. And while I've been a member here for almost 10 years, I've never helped out with RE. Until now. I don't have my own children, and I don't have very much experience with other people's children, but when I got a call from Jenn Leiby, asking me if I would consider facilitating OWL, I couldn't find a good enough reason to say no. I think I'm old enough now to take this on. So one of the requirements is that you spend a weekend with other people learning the curriculum, and they're all adults. That was great. We learned the curriculum, we had fun together, it was time well spent, but it did not prepare me for how different it would be with younger folks. Any adult who's willing to help with OWL has already overcome some barriers to talking about sex. Young people, on the other hand, clam up immediately. But I learned that if we have topics, even with topics they might never have thought about before, which is probably fine, we could find analogies to things that they really did know about and had experienced. And if all else fails, we could line up in order of opinion. If you agree, stand over there. If you disagree, stand over there, and then we'll ask you why. And we could get a conversation going. So I thank you all very much for entrusting me with this role. It means a great deal to me to belong to a faith where sexual preference and gender identity are treated like eye color and shoe size. We just are who we are. Lastly, I'm really glad to have gotten to know some of your kids this year. And here's to waiting till you're old enough.
Good morning. I'm Andrea Barsevic, and I've been a member at USG for almost 31 years. I have been teaching religious education every other year since 1989. Now that's a very long time. I teach the 7th and 8th graders about human sexuality in a course designed by the UUA that's entitled Our Whole Lives, or OWL for short. The title speaks to the fact that we are sexual beings our whole lives, from birth to death. The course is taught in the context of UU values like respect for oneself and others and taking responsibility for our actions and behaviors. The course is very interactive, with games and role plays that put the kids in virtual situations that let them practice how to deal with real-world sexuality issues in a responsible and respectful manner. I love the curriculum, and I feel challenged in a new way every time I teach this course. I may be challenged by parental concerns about course content like homosexuality and gender identity. Or the challenge may be about how to make real to the kids that bullying is not a problem for teachers or parents to deal with. By standing up for a person being bullied and not being a bystander, they can contribute to the solution rather than the problem. Or that partners need to talk to each other if they're thinking about entering into a sexual relationship. It is a wonderful aha moment when we come to a mutual understanding of a complex and challenging problem. And so it's really been very meaningful and powerful for me. And I just want to let you know that Lee and I will be teaching this course again in September of 2018, not this coming September, but a year from September. And we're looking for a few good men and women to join us in this important endeavor. I hope you will speak with us and consider joining us. Thank you.
My name is Sharon Mafuru. When considering volunteering for CSD, I hesitated because USG has become a quiet refuge for me, had become a quiet refuge for me. I could actually take a minute to reflect while my children were safely cared for and developed by other people. I also realized I was sticking to the periphery, basking in anonymity, a place I find quite comfortable. I taught alongside Stephanie Shenck for the pre-K to 2nd grade range on 3rd Sundays, social justice Sundays. A big question in my mind was, how do you explain the concept of social justice to kindergartners? For the first lesson I led, I began the year with dense lesson plans. Let's fit in music, and a story, and a craft, and a mindfulness activity, and a collaborative activity. It was so packed, and I clung to the rigid schedule. It was painful for me and the kids. As the CSD year progressed, I let go of the paddle and let myself feel the direction of the river. Paddling upstream is hard work, but when you're stuck in it, you are so busy you don't realize there's another way. David. I started intentionally putting less in the lesson plan, giving the space and time for creativity and spontaneity. If a child loves dinosaurs, like we saw in the last skit, there is time and space for that. That is what is happening right now. Teaching CSD has better enabled me to meet children where they are and find the right path forward. We can still incorporate the values of respect for each person, acceptance of differences, collaboration and interdependence, and safety, and maintain space for creative and loving, spontaneous moments. The workshops delivered by Kira and Jason were so helpful and so unexpected. Using the Optimal Parenting book and having Skype sessions with the author, Josette Lovemore, helped me understand my own children in a very useful way. I can accept my own 6-year-old physical boys as humans in the body being stage, with a very natural need to find boundaries, use their senses to experience everything, and find their rightful place. The idea of restorative justice in the context of children was new to me, and is now in the toolbox of teaching and parenting. Children are far more engaged when they are tasked with seeing what is out of balance and finding a solution. Teaching CSD has helped me think of bigger concepts in child-friendly terms. For example, social justice to a 6-year-old is the idea that everyone has the right to be safe, both me and the child next to me. So my pushing or hitting would compromise their rights. Everyone has the right to be heard, both me and the child next to me. So my constant talking runs into their right. Before this, I would not dive into some topics because they seem too heavy. But now I understand how to break it down for 5 to 7-year-olds for Social Justice Sundays. I'm so grateful to have spent this year teaching and look forward to many more years. I am still in the canoe and moving with the current now, and even have a few moments to float along and witness exactly what is happening while it is happening with these beautiful little people. And it forced me out of the comfortable, anonymous place and into an engaged role working with great people. It is an honor to spend time with the children here at USG, work with my fellow teachers, and learn from Kira and Jason. Thank you.
Thank you to everyone for sharing your reflections. Next, we have Jenn Leiby and Janet Haas, and they're going to lead a skit. They taught the 4th through 6th grade class.
Some 4, 5, 6 kids out there, so come on forward if you're all out there and line up. Do you need the words? Are you good? Okay, excellent. Line up. So this year, the 4th, 5th, and 6th graders became wizards in training. And we used a Harry Potter-based curriculum to address social injustices and fight against social injustices. And so it brought a little bit of magic into doing good in the world and making the world a better place. We had a book drive. We made lunch bags for Whosoever Gospel. What else did we do, guys? We had the pet supplies drive, and we hosted a fellowship hour where we raised money for a animal shelter. And we have been very busy making the world a better place and taking our magic out there. So we will share with you, we have a little bit of it's kind of an inspiration of who we are and what we did this year. And then we will share a charm with you to help heal your souls. So, are you ready? We are Harry Potter U.S. We fight against society's injustice. Use the letters.
Literacy. Hunger. Poverty. Animal cruelty. Harming the environment.
All right. So that's basically what we did. Arms up. Yeah, up. So we have a charm for you guys, and you can all use this in your lives. It's called the Reparo charm. And this charm repairs broken things, including hearts, minds, and bones, and household objects. So I'm going to show you guys. You can raise your pointer fingers. Stay seated, raise your pointer fingers. I'm going to have my back to you to show you how to do it. It's basically a triangle in the sky, and then the kids are going to do it from their angle, okay? Ready? Fingers up, to the left, down and up like a V. Reparo. Let's do it one more time. Over, down, up, reparo. Do we all feel whole again? Yeah, that's awesome.
Jason and Kristen are going to show us a little bit of a cooperative game they did with 3rd through 6th Spirit and SJ Sunday students.
In Spirit Sundays this year, we have worked diligently in building community amongst the 3rd through 6th graders. One activity interestingly depicted and achieved this. Through this activity, we built trust, pushed our comfort zones, sorted out a variety of feelings, worked cooperatively, and built courage. It is known as the Coffee Table Challenge. Trust, pushing comfort zones, sorting out a variety of feelings, working cooperatively, and building courage. So now we're looking to solicit 4 volunteers from the crowd who are not a part of this class, who might enjoy giving it a shot. We're really hoping for a couple of adults and a couple of children. Helena.
Sorry. I thought it was done.
Great, great, great. And Aniela? Annie? All right, so Jason will help lead you. We could use one more person. Simon? And we have one more coming.
All right, Simon, right here. All right, so what was our number? What did we get to? 20. Okay, so the challenge is, can you get higher than 28? All right? All right, so Simon, you lean back on Elena. Elena, you lean back on Annie. Elena, you lean back on Stephanie. All right.
The first time we tried it with adults, the kids were pretty terrified. It's amazing it works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Adults and children alike were surprised at how little effort it took. Kiddos. Thank you. Adult and children alike were surprised at how little effort it took for us to be a cohesive unit, building one another up to be our best selves.
All right.
That was lots of fun. Thank you. All right, our final song will be by myself, Jason, and Kristen, a little ode to the whole CSD family.
What would you do if I asked you to... Let's start over, Mark. So, I teach in CSD, I don't sing in CSD. What would you do if I asked you to teach? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ears and I'll tell you something. You'll get lots out of it, oh, you'll see. Oh, come on by and teach CSD. Oh, you will thrive when you teach CSD. Yeah, be inspired when you teach CSD.
Could it be any better? I found some children to love. Could you teach any better? Our teacher workshops you will love. Oh, come on by and teach CSD. Oh, you will thrive when you teach CSD. Yeah, be inspired when you teach CSD.
So now that you've heard a bit from the teachers and also their students, we'd like to recognize all the teachers who have given their time and talent and resources to make this especially meaningful. We've asked several students from each class to come present their teacher appreciation gifts to their teachers. This year's gift is a perennial flower. So it's a perennial flower, and we chose it because we feel it represents the work that they did this year. It's not only a thing of beauty, but it also represents eternal growth within a cycle of life and death. Beauty, growth, life, and death are all fundamental aspects of transformational learning and spiritual development. And so with these gifts, we are recognizing these spiritual qualities within our teachers and the work that they do in Child Spiritual Development Program. So, children, when you hear me call your name, please come up to the chancel right here where Jason is standing, and I will call up the teachers so you can present them with their appreciation gift. Okay. For the pre-K class, can we have Evie Shenck, Owen Wolkenberg, and Aiden Vachani come up? Evie, Owen, and Aiden. Here we go. Here they come. Okay, will Gail Gibbons and Scott Wolkenberg now come up, please? For the K1 class, can we please have Willa Goldberg and Chloe Tetty come up? And will our teachers Jeff Jaeger and Nadja Peter now come up? Okay. Will our, let's see, for our 2-3 class, can we have Caleb Ward, Annie Wolkenberg, and Devin Vachani come up? And will our 2-3 teachers, Heather Hill and Kate Connolly, come up if they're here? Okay. For the 4-6 class, can we please have Finn Collier-Hamill, Zoe Leiby, and Sophie Slivak come up, please? And will our 4-6 teachers, Jenn Leiby and Janet Haas, come up? For the Spirit and Social Justice Sunday, can we have Ellis Matthews, Duvessa Teti, Cyrus Fisher, Drew Slivak, and Owen Slivak come up? And will our Spirit Sunday and Social Justice Sunday teachers Stephanie Shenck, Sharon Mafuru, Susan Doring, Kristen Shipler, and Jason Bender come up? For our whole lives, can we have Avery Collier Hamill, Simon Gardner, and Carlton Smith come up. And will our OWL teachers, Andrea Barsevic, Dave Bernstein, Lee Meineke, and Alex Mitchell come up? For the coming of age class, we'd also like to recognize all the mentors and co-teachers, and you can join us if you'd like. And we'd also like to, I think we have a double thank you for Jason, and CSD teachers have come together and a little recognition gift of all your leadership and work. Thank you so much. So let's have a round of applause for everybody.
Let's give them another round. We have gathered here today to celebrate all those who make our children's spiritual development program a reality. We should also take this opportunity to reaffirm that the work we do in CSD is central to the life and mission of the larger USG community. As many of you know, the mission of this church is to build beloved community with compassion, service, and empowerment. Today, I am going to talk about how building beloved community is just as much about establishing relationships between adults as it is about establishing relationships between the children and adults of our community. I will also suggest that our CSD program is central to the work of our church community in that CSD provides an opportunity for both children's and adults' spiritual development. One way we supported adult spiritual development this year was through the implementation of a teacher training series that consisted of 4 workshops. In our first workshop, we passed an apple around the room. Everyone was instructed to observe the apple for a couple of seconds and then write down their observation on a piece of paper. We did this several times, and what surprised me is that nobody said it was a bad apple, or a damaged apple, or an apple with issues, or that they wished it was some other type of fruit. What was observed is the apple had a few dark spots. The apple had multiple colors. The apple was round and hard. Simple, direct, unbiased observation. Of course, with a touch of curiosity at why we were doing this exercise in the first place. Well, the exercise was done to help teachers recognize a way of being with children, to begin to become comfortable with observing what is, to treat each child as a unique mix of gifts and needs, which can only be discovered when we look without judgment, directly, and with a touch of curiosity. This way of being with children generates right relationship, and right relationship is the basis of building beloved community, which consequently is the basis of creating peace and justice in our society. This is how the work we do in CSD is social justice work. It is how our 6th UU principle is enacted, and it evidences a way in which children and adults might grow together. Yes, and all of this insight from an exercise with an apple. That was my joke. When children are met where they are and nourished according to their developmental need, they grow in optimal well-being. When children live in optimal well-being, they naturally actualize their spiritual aspects, such as love, meaning-making, value, and aesthetics. This way of being with the child provides them with access to the wisdom of their developmental moment. And adults who meet children where they are might also have access to the wisdom of the child's developmental moment, as well as access to adult development of wisdom, which may include the flowering of innate adult capacities such as service, presence, insight, compassion, and gratitude. Adult development through working with children might also include cognitive development, because the adult may have undergone a shift in perception due to questioning an unchallenged assumption that may have surfaced. Adults who work with children might also experience emotional development, as they may have increased their capacity for empathy, trust, and greater emotional complexity, such as that simultaneous feeling of intense frustration and love. Parents, you know what I'm talking about. So next year, CSD is going to offer even more workshops, opportunities for teachers, as well as opportunities for parents. But it is not the workshops in and of themselves that provide the opportunity for adult spiritual development. Adult spiritual development, in the sense that we are beginning to define it in CSD, is made possible because of the adult-child relationship. So it is the relationship itself that provides the context for learning. This is why we are advocating that the relationship between the adult and child is the most important aspect of our CSD program. All curriculum, lessons, and rituals are afforded a secondary position to creating right relationship and building beloved community. This transforms the educational environment, thus making transformational learning possible. Many insightful teachers have said this: to transform society, we must first transform ourselves. That is to say, we must transform or have a shift in consciousness. This shift includes our understanding of ourselves, our self-locations, and our relationships with other humans as well as the natural world. Transformational learning makes us understand the world in a different way, changing the way we experience it and the way we act in our day-to-day lives. One way we can enact transformational learning is by engaging the field of self-knowledge with children. Furthermore, I would suggest that engaging the field of self-knowledge is the cornerstone of spiritual development in both children and adults. It is a mutual process of development for both the teacher and the student, because adults who help children grow in self-knowledge also must be growing in self-knowledge. Development becomes a mutual process when the adult who is helping the child reflect on their behavior, their thoughts, and their feelings is engaged in a similar process of self-reflection. So what is the field of self-knowledge and how does it relate to spiritual development? The field of self-knowledge is constituted by the learning processes, actions, and insights by which we come to know our whole being. Spiritual development, at least in terms of UU philosophy, is related to that mysterious, awesome force from which our universe exploded and is now sustained. We call it the spirit of life. Since the spirit of life is infused into every aspect of our being, spiritual development would necessarily mean the development and integration of every aspect of ourselves: physical, emotional, cognitive, social, and spiritual. Learning on self-knowledge is an emergent process that is characterized by freedom. The freedom to learn, which is our fourth UU principle, is thus felt, absorbed, embedded in the educational relationship. It is not an abstract concept to be memorized. Rather, when we engage the field of self-knowledge with children, freedom is experienced directly through the educational relationship that we are creating together. And I would suggest that all of our principles need to be learned this way, not through memorization, but through the experiential realization of these principles in the relationships that we create with one another. In this, we are learning to read from the book of life, because life is relationship. This is why the relationship between the adult and child is so important. It is the context for learning, which is unpredictable, dynamic, and happening from moment to moment. Like freedom, self-knowledge is not discovered through abstract concepts that can be disconnected from context. Rather, self-knowledge is discovered when we engage our communities of practice through self-reflection and awareness. At USG, we at USG are a community of practice. A community of practice is a distinct culture that creates and recreates itself. Thus, a community of practice can be seen as either supporting existing cultural paradigms that are based upon fear, division, and hierarchical authority, or they can support the transformation of society toward a new culture of peace. There are no blueprints or instructions that we can read and follow on how to make a more peaceful world. We make peace by being peaceful. Thus, in terms of the work we do in CSD, the creation of a new culture of peace would be seen to the degree that both the child and adult are co-generating peace in their relationship. Just like each and every person is a unique expression of our common humanity, so too our community is a unique expression of the larger Unitarian Universalist denomination. This means that there is no ready-made, one-size-fits-all program that we can subscribe to. The needs of our children, teachers, and larger community are unique. and our program must reflect those needs and provide specific nourishments to meet those needs. In this way, our children's spiritual development program is made and remade every year by the adults and children who regularly participate in it. In this, let us make no mistake, our children's spiritual development program is a reflection of the culture we are creating within the larger USG community. If we see it as a context for both children's and adult spiritual development, then we have transformed the educational relationship, and we have begun to embed our 7 principles as a way of being and growing together. Thank you.
Okay, so we did get a little bit mixed up in the order. I'm going to go to the meditation because it's a nice transition from Jason's words. So in our meditation, we're going to take a minute to think to ourselves, we've given thanks to the CSD teachers, we've thought a lot about our programs, but let's also be thankful for what Jason calls the evolutionary pulse that guides the human race, and give thanks to all those who push humanity forward, thanks to those who have guided us in our own educational and spiritual journeys. So let's just take a moment for our meditation. Thank you.
It is my hope that this service today has instilled a sense of togetherness and shared responsibility for the work we do. In that spirit, please turn to number 664 in the gray hymnal, or simply to the overhead, and let us close this service together with a call and response written by Sarah Moores Campbell. Give us the spirit of the child. Give us the child who lives within.
The child who trusts, the child who imagines, the child who sings.
The child who receives without reservation, the child who gives without judgment.
Give us the child's eyes,
that we may receive the beauty and freshness of this day like a sunrise.
Give us a child's ears that we may hear the music of mythical times.
Give us a child's heart that we may be filled with wonder and delight.
Give us a child's faith that we may be cured of our own cynicism.
Give us the spirit of the child who is not afraid to need, who is not afraid to love.
Yesterday a child came out to wander, caught a dragonfly inside a jar, fearful when the sky was full of thunder, and tearful at the falling of a star.
And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in the circle game.
Then the child moved 10 times round the seasons, skated over 10 clear frozen streams. Words like, when you're older, must appease him, and promises of someday make his dreams. And the seasons go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down, reflecting on the carousel of time. We can return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round, suddenly.
16 springs and 16 summers gone now. Cartwheels turn to car wheels through the town. And they tell him, take your time, it won't be long now, till you drag your feet to slow the circles down. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down, reflecting on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in a circle
Now the boy is 20. Though his dreams have lost some grandeur coming true, there'll be new dreams, way better dreams, and plenty. For the last return will tell you this is true.